Hey, Joe Mastriano, CPA, over 40 years and thousands of successful IRS cases. Today's video is on tax return respect. I made a little list here because most people, by far, over 90%, I don't care if you do your return, someone you think is the god of tax does the return, I personally do the return, or Robin does it. Who cares? The rules for avoiding audit and having a good return that maximizes deductions is essential no matter who does it. So I say people who respect their tax return do the following. They file an extension to avoid audit. They wait until around the end of August, beginning of September, when the wage and income transcript is settled. They take the individual items on the wage and income transcript and list them separately on the return, which means if you are self employed and you've got 5 1099s, you don't just add them up and total it because the IRS doesn't know if you reported all the 1099s. You list them separately. You also put big explanations for your larger deductions or items if they're not deductions that you understand the code and the regs that are involved, and you have the proof that auditors are looking for that backs them off. I've dealt with auditors for many years, and they select a whole bunch of returns for audit. And when they see that you have all the backup information, they tend to throw it back and go after people who are, let's say, low hanging fruit. You file a few days before the end of the extension. You see, over 90% of people get selected for audit prior to that date, most before April 15th, because May through July tend to be periods where there's a lot of audits going on that they gear up for audits. By the time September hits, October, very few audits are going on. And so I'll tell you a little story about how software companies are kind of in cahoots with the IRS. If you research into it and the IRS, you'll eventually get to the deals that they've had going on between them. And you'll find that the media and software companies, these national tax companies, they work together because I've been preaching this stuff for decades, literally. I started my CPA firm in 1980. And you'll still watch commercials saying file by April 15th, or I've seen some national tax company commercials recently that tell you don't even do your tax return. Our experts will do it for you. Huh. I hired one of their experts who worked for Intuit on the weekend for $25 an hour. And this guy can barely do personal returns. And that's the expert they're going to give you. They've been known to give you free returns. And the second you have an obvious extra schedule you need after maybe spending an hour or so trying to put your numbers in, if you don't pay them, they erase the whole thing. I think they stopped that though. So you got all these gimmicks. What's a person to do? You go to a preparer who's licensed professionally, CPA, attorney, enrolled agent, who has the years of experience, who understands the other side, who understands how the IRS looks at things. I've gotten huge deductions for clients once I helped them to meet the rules and I followed my 4-part checklist. I've given you some of it here. And to this day, I don't know one person who was audited. You've got to be a fool not to do these things that I talk about. If you want a formal written list of the 4 parts of my checklist, go to taxproblem.org, taxproblem.org. Give me your email, a page will come up. You'll be on my email list. And every now and then I send emails for people's benefit. If you get kind of anxious, you can go to my YouTube channel and look at all the live videos that I do. And it's extremely valuable information. So I'm going to end this video and get to work. I've got people that I'm advising, setting up other entities. So again, they could avoid, an audit, all above board, all good. I'm in excellent standing across the board, community, professionally, IRS. But I'm not a pushover. If you're scared of the IRS, you're probably not my client, because it's my job to take the fear of the IRS away from you. The people that come after you from the IRS are employees of a large organization. They're not the IRS. They're lower level employees. And most of them, because education's gone downhill, are not trained very well. Sometimes I talk to managers that I have to let them know what the rules are. They're running in 20 different places. Some of them are managing 2 or 3 different groups. My heart goes out to them. It's a tough job. But then again, the government has a lot of good benefits: retirement, medical, upgrade and transfer programs. In fact, very recently, they were paying for relocation. They were giving you relocation differentials. So my sympathy only goes, so far. Yeah, they're getting paid very well. I had hired an attorney that worked for the IRS who was well over $100,000 a year. He had to go. Skills were not good. Skills in private are much higher, as a necessity than in government. So again, I'll keep preaching. I'm trying to get on more podcasts. I just got a list, well, I'm about to get it, of 300 top level business podcasts in Houston. So you might hear me, and I'll post the podcasts. But the days of being blind about the IRS are gone. They've been gone. The days of giving someone your tax return and saying, oh, wow, I got me a $5,000 refund. Where do I sign? Without you having the knowledge of why, should be gone. So respect your tax return. Don't be audited. Get the refunds or lower your liability as you should, and move forward with the understanding of how this whole thing works. Call Stephanie, 713-774-4467, and she'll talk to you for free and let you know if it's appropriate to set up a consultation with me. Thank you.